Into Texas at the Voice of College Football. I am one of your hosts, Joshua, and I am joined by my good host, B. Ross. B. Ross, how you doing today on this fine Tuesday afternoon?
I'm good, brother. How you doing, man?
I'm all right, man. This is honestly of all the episodes we've done, I think this is actually going to be the one I'm most interested in. We've had a lot of fun conversations throughout the season so far. We got some topics today that are a little spicy, so we're going to get to it. For starters, though, some news we got to get through. Michael Taft had surgery,
Yep.
probably going to miss a couple weeks. That's extremely unfortunate. That's a veteran in the backfield. I don't know if you have more details on it. I just saw the general post about his injury, it being a
Yeah.
thumb injury.
I haven't heard anything from inside the building yet from anybody I know there. But I wouldn't count on him playing sooner than we think because the thumb is really just, it'll be cast with tape. He won't have too many picks, but it's been plenty of guys who have played with that. So
Mhm.
it'd be interesting to see.
Yeah, as a defensive player, whenever you have a broken finger, don't report it. Just keep playing, bro. Just keep on playing.
Play
So
through
Michael
it.
Taft is going to probably miss maybe some time, maybe a week. I don't think he's going to be out for too long. I think he should be back. This happened a couple days ago, but the AP poll has officially been released, and Texas lands at number 22. I'm going to go ahead and share this to the screen here. As you can see, let me take this off. Ohio State number 1, pretty fair. I would say that's probably been the best team in the country so far. Indiana number 2, A&M 3. And then we get a run of SEC teams with Bama 4, Georgia 5. Some surprise names here. Georgia Tech at 7, Vanderbilt 10. Didn't see those ones happening. USF at 18, Virginia at 16. Texas was at 21 prior to last week. Had the bad game versus Kentucky. They ultimately fought at 22. They're in kind of this weird little area and range where they're a good football team, but they're a very inconsistent team, kind of like what
Right.
LSU is, where LSU has a really good defense, but just a very inconsistent offense. We're kind
Yep.
of stuck in a range here with them. So, give me your thoughts on Texas being at 22 and just your general thoughts from this week's AP poll.
I'm actually very happy about it because we didn't play well enough to be moved up. Honestly,
Yeah.
but again, to me, this gives extra motivation for
Mhm.
guys. They think this team is better. They have more losses. They think this team is better and their schedule is weaker. You know what I mean? To me, it's a chance to get guys fired up to play better and play more consistently. So I'm not opposed to it, and I'm actually not shocked by too many teams up here.
No, and I just did the quick math. I might have missed a team, but I think that's 10 SEC teams in this top 25. You got A&M, Georgia, Bama, Ole Miss, Vanderbilt, OU, Missouri, Tennessee, LSU, and Texas. I mean, I know
11.
there's always the conversation about the Big Ten having the better teams, and Big Ten has the 2 best teams in the country this year, I would say. I mean, I think Bama's definitely making a case, but
Yeah.
I mean, outside of Ohio State and Indiana, it's what, just Michigan, if I'm not mistaken, in the Big
Michigan,
Ten?
Illinois.
Illinois, yeah. Illinois
Yeah.
is somehow still ranked. I don't know how they are ranked still. I mean, they got
63 to
beat by
10.
50. They got beat by
They should
50.
not be ranked in the top 25.
No, I mean, give Texas some flack, but Texas lost to Ohio State by 7 points. Illinois got beat by what,
50.
20? Yeah, I mean 50 by Indiana. No Washington. Michigan's at 25. I kind of can see it. I don't know. That's a very inconsistent team that might lose their head coach in a few weeks. Just kind of tells you the overall strength of the SEC. I thought that was some interesting stuff. We also had some movement from a lot of the top teams. Like Miami got a big loss. They fell to number 9. From number 2 to number 9, pretty big dip for them. Ole Miss also fell. I think they were number 4, and they fall to number 8. Who else? LSU took the L, dropped a bunch of spots. Right now, and this is, we're still pretty early in the season, but I think those
Yeah.
top 5 teams, I think one of those teams is probably going to win the championship this year. I don't see. I think, and I like A&M. I don't think A&M is going to win it this year. I just think that they have some issues defensively, and I just don't trust
They
Marcel Lee
have
enough.
they have more issues than their record shows.
Yeah,
Watching
I
their
agree.
games live, they have a lot more issues than that record shows.
They're
Georgia's
undefeated though.
defense isn't good.
No, they're not.
Georgia's defense, like the fact that they are relying on Gunnar Stockton to score 30, 40 points a game, they should be worried. Um, I think Oregon is in that mix too.
Yeah, good team.
Because
Good
the
team.
game with Indiana was very close. It was very back and forth. A late turnover lost them that game. Oh, actually, no, a late turnover tied it up, and then that defense just got outplayed. So, I mean, yeah, those top 5 teams are. I could see playing for a national championship for sure, but I'm with you. Texas A&M, I'm just not sold on them.
Of all these teams here, and I would say Bama's looking like the best team in the SEC. That Florida State game looks so fluky on their resume because since then they've just been so dominant. I mean, they got flaws too. They're not a perfect team, but man,
no,
they got a quarterback that's playing at probably the highest level of any quarterback besides maybe Indiana, Mendoza. But even then, Ty Simpson's playing ball right now.
Honestly, like the thing that before this week, I was sold on Ohio State's defense, like the best, right?
Yeah, by far.
But I wasn't sold on the offense. And I watched the Wisconsin game. And I'm like, well, this kid he is ripping it. Like they are letting them play now, and you see the talent. And it's kind of like, okay, how good is offense? Like, how good can they really be relying on him? Because they still can't run the ball. That's the one thing that, like, that's their biggest flaw to me is like, if they need 1-2 yards, that run game is so inconsistent. But that pass game is like next level good.
Yeah, I mean, you got Jeremiah Smith, who's going to be a top 5 pick next year, and Carnell Tate, who's going to be a first-round pick this year. Max Clare. I mean, they got
playing
weapons
really well.
Yes. And Julian's saying his job is just get the ball to your playmakers and don't make mistakes.
Don't overthink it.
Don't overthink it. I mean, like you look at like Arch. For Arch, it's like you gotta be the guy. You can't make mistakes. You gotta put the ball in the tight windows, escape the pocket, make plays in the run.
Because your playmakers aren't showing up the same way.
No, and nor is your offensive line. They're not protecting you the same way that Julian's saying is getting protected. So,
very true.
I definitely think there's sort of a fine line between the top. I'll go 6. I don't think Georgia Tech. I'm not sold on them as a 7th team. They're a good football team. They're scrappy, but I mean, they don't really have a signature win on their resume. They got Georgia in a few weeks though.
They don't. So what makes them good? Because I watched them on tape too, and it's what the other 6 teams really can't do. They can run the ball versus anybody.
Well, they got that quarterback. That's a dude,
bro. He is a real dude, especially when he gets going on the run game. Oh my God, Haynes King is Haynes King, and then Jamal Haynes, the running back. Mm-hmm. Like that's a nice duo. Like to me, Georgia Tech and Vanderbilt are very similar in like how they play and like how they win. But Georgia Tech has the luxury of not playing it in the SEC.
No, Georgia Tech. I mean, their best win is what? Would it be the Clemson game? Because they beat Colorado, Gardner-Webb, Clemson, Temple, Wake Forest, Virginia Tech, and Duke. Maybe, I guess, Wake Forest, maybe. What's Wake Forest now?
You can only
it might be Duke. The guys in front of you. Yep.
Yeah. So, like, I can see them, like, none of the next 4 games on paper look scary, but this Pittsburgh team is a good team. Boston College might give them some problems as well. Yeah. And the same with North Carolina State. Syracuse won't, because I think Syracuse locker room is in flux because the head coach is probably leaving.
And their quarterback's out for the year.
Yeah,
so that's tough.
That never
helps. They have Georgia.
They do, but they only lost to Georgia by 2 last year.
True. I mean,
you know
for Georgia Tech, I mean, who else is? I mean, the ACC is so weak this year. It's them, Miami. And who's the other team?
Virginia, Louisville.
Yep.
So it's top heavy, and like the teams who are good have already separated themselves. So now Georgia Tech has to keep winning, Miami has to keep winning, and Louisville and Virginia now have to see who falls. But it'd be interesting to see. Yeah,
it's I really, again, going back to Texas here, I don't really have an issue with Texas at 22. I frankly, I mean, if Texas went against Arizona State this week, I don't know who's going to win that game. I just don't know, right? Texas is so up and down. I believe that Texas is more talented than every team, minus maybe Ohio State, Bama, and Georgia. They have the talent, but they're just not executing right now. They're just so young, and they're flawed, and they just don't have the pieces right now. So them being at 22 feels about right. I brought up the question on the reaction show of should Texas be ranked, and we all said yes. And this is about where I think we all expected us. I will say Texas LSU would be a whale of a game. that game will be fun. Got two offenses that aren't good at all and two defenses that are balling.
13-10 be the score, and I don't think any touchdowns come from offense.
No, because LSU can't run the football. Nussmeier has taken a huge step back. Brian Kelly's on the hot seat. I never liked the Brian Kelly hire in the first place.
I didn't either.
It just felt like the wrong guy for LSU. LSU
was
specific
different place. It's different place.
Going from Notre Dame to LSU
didn't make sense. But I will say this: if any team's going to give Texas A&M trouble, LSU is primed to do it because that defense will be the best Texas A&M has faced.
True. Who, of course, plays Texas.
They play LSU this weekend.
Okay. I don't know. That A&M offense is absolutely rolling. A&M has, Arkansas gave them a run for their money. They got A&M has LSU. That Missouri game's going to be a lot of fun. I think A&M probably pulls that one off. South Carolina, then Samford. You're kidding me? And then Texas. Yeah, A&M could. I
don't think they run the table.
I don't think they will either. I think they'll at least get one. I think they'll beat LSU. I think either Missouri or Texas they'll lose. And that Texas game is in Texas too. Texas will be awake for that one. So it's going to be interesting. All in all, the AP poll, I feel like it's pretty good this week. There's been some bad weeks where you have some crazy teams ranked, but now we're kind of deeper in the season. I feel like there's more clarity to how teams perform. And, if Texas gets a win, let's say Texas beats Mississippi State. Do you think they move up in the AP poll, assuming nothing crazy happens?
It depends on how it looks. Because we beat Kentucky, but it was horrendous on offense.
Yeah.
So if the offense, again, to me, everything goes back to the Oklahoma game. Can that offense show up? Can we move the ball? Can we get in 3rd and 5 or less? Can we convert on 3rd down? Can we do those things on offense and score 24 points? That's the question. Because if we can do that, then I believe we'll move up slowly but surely move up. Because again, these are humans voting. They watch the game.
Well,
it's like, oh,
some do.
This is true.
Some do.
Some don't watch. They just watch highlights and say, oh, okay, this is where my vote is going. So yeah, it's to me, Texas, in order to move in that top 15 range, has to get some style points and on offense. Unless the defense goes out and scores, 2 pick sixes, we return a punt and the kickoff, then our style points look different, but we still get style points. So how it looks matters.
Yep. How it looks matters. All right, guys, you guys tell us in the comments below. Texas at number 22. Is that fair or unfair? All right, let's move over now. Mississippi State is up ahead. They are a pretty feisty football team. You don't want to mess with this team. They didn't really play great this past week, but in general, it's a scrappy team. They won the first 4. They've lost the last 3. But in fairness to them, they took Tennessee to overtime. They have a ranked win versus Arizona State. Got beat up by A&M. That's a really ugly one. And then they lost to Florida, who obviously Florida beat Texas. So Texas is going to be going up against Mississippi State at 3 o'clock. It's going to be on ESPN. When you talk about statistics here, Blake Shapen playing some decent football. He'll give you a few picks, but not playing too shabby. Yep. They have Bothwell as their lead running back. Of course, Booth as well will also be there. Our old friend Brennan Thompson, our old friend there, from Texas guy, went to Oklahoma for a few years, and now he's at Mississippi State. He's actually having a pretty solid year with 29 catches, 533 yards, 4 touchdowns. This is a pretty potent offense. They can score, they can move the football, they're pretty balanced, I would say too. All in all, for a Texas team that plays great defense but has struggled on the offensive end, this almost feels like a bit of a nightmare matchup for us. So, B-Ross, what are your thoughts here on this Mississippi State game?
This is not a good matchup for us. And no, it's not. And I say that because of how fast the offense moves. It's high tempo, it's high pace, it's wide splits, it's RPOs that looks like play action. It's play action, it looks like RPO. They play a simplistic game per se, but that tempo will jump on guys quick. Now, our saving grace is we have depth. The issue is going to be, can we make those subs in time? Because if they don't sub, we shouldn't sub, but sometimes teams try to if the sideline is close enough. But then when you're talking about a 300-pound guy who's been in there for 5 snaps. Who knows? So that's where my concerns lie with the defense. Because on offense, I think everything's predicated on us not shooting ourselves in the foot, honestly.
Sure. No.
Because
Let's do that.
talent-wise, we have plenty of talent. Like talent isn't the thing I worry about. It's the execution of said talent. Putting said talent in the right position to make plays and have success. That's what worries me in terms of the offense. The defense, I'm worried for schematic reasons because I know this staff in Mississippi State. They were at Oklahoma.
Yep.
When I used to scout there. So I know how fast he wants to go. Like I've seen them practice 5 plays in less than like 30 seconds. Like, it's fast. And when you're and when you haven't gone against it, it's hard to duplicate in practice for the defense. So I'm like honestly, the most important thing is going to be affecting the quarterback because he will throw you some.
Yep. Yeah,
So
and
if we can affect him early, I think we can create turnovers and slow them down. We have to, and then on offense, we have to like mandatory. We have to run the ball because we have to control the clock. Kentucky kicked our ass in time of possession. Like
doubled ours.
You know what I mean? So we have to control the clock because if not, it's gonna be a long day because this team can't score points.
Yeah, and to your point about the interceptions, Blake Shapen, obviously Texas played him, I think back in 2022 when he was with Baylor.
Yep.
Been a while. He didn't, if I remember correctly, I think he was like 50% completion. I think he had 2 touchdowns or something like that. So he didn't play great versus Texas a few years ago, but that was a long, long time ago. So far this year, his past 3 games versus Tennessee, A&M, and Florida, he's thrown 3 straight interceptions. He's been sacked a total of 14 times in those 3 games. He's a decent athlete. He could run around a little bit. That's not really where he hangs his hat on. He's definitely more of a passing threat. But this is a good college quarterback, but far away from a great college quarterback, right? He's not at the level of a Ty Simpson or anything like that. But he's totally fine. He gets the task done. And again, to his credit, Mississippi State this year is not a bad football team. I know that in years past they have been sort of a walkover, but this is a team that has confidence and they're not afraid to head into these games. And they're 0-3 in conference play, but they're 4-3 on the season, and they have that win versus ASU they can hang their hat on. But this is not a great offensive line. They do not pass block well. They're much better downhill running the football more so than pass protection.
Yeah.
So if you
that's
are,
what they want to do.
Yeah, that's what they want to do, and then they got to do some play action off of it. Stuff quick to get the ball out of Shapen's hands. So if you're Texas defensively, I mean, you're going to run your stuff. I wouldn't mind seeing Texas be a little bit more aggressive and trying to get down, put more people in the box to stuff the run, and then force Shapen to put the ball in the air a little bit more because I do trust Muhammad and all the safeties and stuff. But I'm not worried about the defense for Texas. I think they'll hold them to 20, 24, something like less than that. I worry about this offense because it's one of those things where it's like there's no analysis to talk about there with Texas. And it's like we don't even know what we're going to see. We've seen the good, we've seen the bad, we've seen the good game plans where it feels like everything's in sync, and we've seen the bad game plans.
Touché.
I will say this is I'm going to put my faith in Sark here a little bit. It's a little bit risky of me, but I'm going to put my faith in him a little bit because he's been tested this week. A lot of criticism, and I think this is a good opportunity here to kind of check his his manhood a little bit, you could say, and just sort of say, hey, man, you've been tested, you've been getting criticized. Are you ready to go? So when we get to our keys to victory here, I think the biggest key to this win is Steve Sarkisian and Arch Manning have to be in sync again, like they were against Sam Houston, like they were against Oklahoma, where there has to be a run game. You have to run the football effectively, and then you got to get Arch into a rhythm. If this game starts off how the Kentucky game went,
5-6 games started.
Yeah, it's going to be it's going to be a long one, and you're going to have to hang your hat on special teams yet again and defense. But against a team like Mississippi State, they're not going to lose this game like a Kentucky did. They have a quarterback that is experienced and won't make the same mistakes that the Kentucky kid did. So my biggest personal key, amongst many other, is that the game plan has to be in sync. That's the biggest one. What would you say is the biggest key for Texas to win?
Sark has to be in his bag.
Yeah.
And to your point, in terms of the chemistry between him and Arch, like you always say, he has to make the layups. If he just makes the layups, not the three balls, not those deep shots. Like now, granted, those are nice to have, right? Like love explosive. If he just hits at 70% on the layups, if he's 10 yards or less, and we're above 70% completion percentage, we win this game by double digits. That's how important him hitting the simplest of passes are. Like, that's it. Because you can pick any game we've lost or any game that was bad and just say, oh, well, he missed this throw, this, like, he just missed, like, just throughout the game, throughout the quarters, pivotal moments. When he misses throws, it sets the offense back. So, to me, to your point, like, and I think like Sark has to go in his bag. Like, bro, just do what you guys are good at and call your game. Because sometimes it looks like he's art sometimes, like he's in his own head in just terms of like, you know what, let me just run. I'm a run quarterback job because that's what they're expecting me to like. Just take a deep breath, call your game. Because we know how good he is as a play designer and a play caller. Like we've seen it from his time at Texas, his time at Bama, USC, Washington. Like he has a gift and a talent. Cool. But for some reason this year, it looked like he has the play calling yips.
Yeah.
It's like, what?
It's a great way to put it.
Why would you call that in this situation where like historically you've never done that? Like, you know what I mean? So I think he has to be in his own bag. And to your point, he's been questioned and tested on this all week. So I think he's going to come out with a point to prove, and I think he's going to call one of his better games because he's tired of the questions. Yeah, which is cool, good. Be mad, be angry, use that. And then my other point, Arch has to complete the layups, those 5-yard and outs, those crossing routes. When Sark does dial something up and the guy's open, we gotta hit those. Because if not, it'll be Florida, it'll be Kentucky, it'll be Utah all over again.
Yeah. No, I think you made some I totally agree with everything you said there. It does feel like Sarkisian in his own way also has a bit of the yips play calling wise. I mean, some of the decisions that he made in that Kentucky game were just stuff that you never seen from Sarkisian at Texas. It was just kind of baffling. I think in terms of the offense, you got to get Trey Wisner going. I don't know if he was injured this past game versus Kentucky.
Is he healthy?
I don't know. I have not heard any sort of like yes or no on that. I feel like he wasn't because he did not look like the same back he did versus Oklahoma.
He did not.
Let's hope he's good to go because, man, if we can get Trey Wisner going in this back, because we're going to have to. If Texas wants to win out or, go 9-3 or something like that, they got to run the football with Trey Wisner because if they can't run the football, this team is going nowhere. I mean, they're going nowhere because we right now can't put our faith into Arch Manning to be consistent week in and week out. I mean, it's been so up and down with him that I think the best version of
or the O-line for that matter.
Well, of course, O-line is the bigger factor here, but Trey Wisner's got to make plays like he did versus Oklahoma. When he gets chances to make plays in space, he's got to make them. And that's the other thing. This offensive line, they gotta get rolling a little bit. It's been up and down, kind of like this whole team. In terms of Mississippi State, they don't really have a great pass rush. On the year, they have 10 sacks. Their leader is DJ Reed and Will Whitson, who have 2 sacks each. So I don't really know if I would say they have a dominant pass rush or anything like that. But we said the same thing about Florida, and they got after Arch. We said the same thing about Kentucky. They got after Arch. We said the same thing about Oklahoma, we said Oklahoma has a great defensive line, and they shut him out.
They didn't do it, yeah.
It's just it's kind of weird. It's very weird. So what about good?
That's the issue with this offense, but Mississippi State has a safety. Brylan Lanier. He has a nose for the ball. He plays downhill. He has range. He's instinctive. He has a nose for the football. He should have more. He dropped a couple. This dude's a good football player, so it'd be interesting. It'd be interesting to see how they deploy him because right now Texas doesn't have an identity. We don't have a go-to guy. We don't have any. You know what I mean? So it's like, is he going to be more to the field and play over speed, or is he going to play more on the boundary over Jack Injuries, who's gone missing? So this defense again, like they have plenty of holes and they lack talent in certain spots, but they're scrappy and they know how to get the football. So that's where my concern lies in terms of like their overall talent. Like overall talent wise, we should win straight up, right? All things being equal, but since that's not the case and all things aren't perfect, we can't give them hope and have multiple 3-and-out drives in a row because that's just going to keep building their confidence. And then that's when I think they'll start pinning their ears back and start being a lot more creative in how they create pressure. So, which we don't need.
No, and a few more things with Mississippi State. Arch, of course, played Mississippi State last year, had a really good game, 26-31, 325, 2 touchdowns. Had a really good game. He also ran the ball well, too. That's a totally different team. But, schematics-wise, they could be quite similar. I believe this is a homecoming game for Mississippi State, so get ready to learn cowbells, guys. It's going to be loud. It's going to be feisty.
It is annoying.
It's going to be annoying. And it's one of those things where, man, you said it, once you give that team a little bit of confidence, a little bit of that, energy, they're going to start rattling that thing even louder. And it's going to be tough. So
that's going to drive me crazy.
Any final cues you want to give about Texas defense, special teams, things of that nature before we finish this segment?
I mean, really just when it comes to our defense, we have to keep creating turnovers. Like we have to give this offense short fields, keep teams backed up. When punter Jack booms one inside the 20, how he did 6 times last week. Like the defense, and how good we are, like they have to be even better because we don't know which offense is going to show up. So they can't allow any opportunity because if you do, we don't know if we can play catch up. And then on offense, I would honestly like to see us play with a little bit more tempo. That's when we move the ball best. Like it takes some of the pressure off the O-line and it kind of limits what the defense can do in terms of pressure because you're moving so fast.
Less power running, more outside zone as well. That's what we did against Kentucky. Or not Kentucky, that's what we did against Oklahoma.
Yeah.
Worked there.
And then, I mean, even in the past game, when we were struggling versus Florida and we had to go fast, that's when the pocket came a little bit cleaner. Arch was even if it wasn't, they got so tired, they were just leaning on O-lineman. Now he can escape by time and be a 5-star quarterback. So, like, the way I see it, play with tempo, change the tempo up. And, I mean, he did it versus Oklahoma. It's a recipe for winning with this roster right now. Why not incorporate more of that?
So basically, we're trying to say, play like you would play Madden. Go as fast as you can in tempo and spam the same plays that work over and over again. That's what Texas needs to do. Play like they're playing college football 26 or Madden 26, and they might have some success. All right, guys, let us know in the comments below the keys to beat Mississippi State. All right. Mr. Arch Manning hasn't had the greatest of years so far. On the year, he has a completion percentage of 60.3%, 12 touchdowns, 5 picks, 13 sacks, 5 rushing touchdowns. But the numbers don't tell the full story. The story about Arch Manning is the inconsistencies. Bad game versus OSU, kind of an okay versus San Jose, bad game versus UTEP, good game versus Sam Houston, bad game versus Florida, good game versus OU, horrendous game versus Kentucky. It has just been a inconsistent mess for Arch Manning where it's been highs and lows. The roller coaster has been quite frustrating. And unlike a Quinn Ewers, who I often like to compare this team to when Quinn was in his first year, Quinn was a redshirt freshman. Arch Manning has been in the system for 3 years. So that all said, we're going to be a little bit more optimistic here about Arch Manning. And by the way, I want to say this. I think Arch is a talented player that's going to be totally fine in the future. But I think that for this season specifically, how can Steve Sarkisian, quote unquote, fix Arch Manning moving forward so that way we have the best chance of making a bowl game or making the playoffs?
Yeah, so I think this comment hits it on the head right here. I think it's the guys around him too. Like the quarterback is only as good as his supporting cast. I don't care what quarterback you pick. In football history, they had guys around them to help them make plays at some point, whether it's the run game or guys winning jump balls. Because Julian Sand isn't playing out of his mind because he's, like this supreme, like he's talented, but he's throwing balls in the triple coverage and Carnell Tate just coming down with it.
True.
You know what I mean? Like it's like at some point the guys around him also have to step up and play consistent. Like it's the entire offense. O-line has to be consistent in pass protection and creating running lanes. The running backs have to take what the defenses give them, hit their gaps, and then, be strong and get positive yards. The receivers have to get open consistently. So to me, to really fix Arch, it comes to fixing the things around him as well as fixing him, because I can tell pregame what type of game he's going to have based on how he looks in warmups, type of swagger, confidence, how he's talking to guys. When he's just loose in Oklahoma, he didn't have a care in the world. He was ready to play. Just, all right. Then Kentucky, Florida, he was a little bit more uptight. Just like you didn't see the same bravado and the same aura. So, but I think part of that is because, like Florida, he took a beating. And after a while, like you get hit enough, this ball's coming out. I don't care who gets it at this point. So that's why I think those guys around him, like, we need playmakers. Like, outside of Trey Wisner, who's really making plays? Parker's gone missing. Jack Andrews gone missing. We're trying to get Wingo the ball, but he's not winning at the top of routes consistently. Like, who's going to be the guy? Someone has to step up and just say, I'm going to be the guy. And because honestly, playing Texas offense, who do you take away? Who do you say worries you? Right? Based on what you're seeing on tape, I would go in the game plan like, all right, this is the game plan. This is what they like to do, but I don't have a specific guy. They don't like. There's
maybe Trey,
there's no
Wiseman,
guy.
maybe.
Right.
Shut the run game.
I would load the box, 8 in the box. Yeah. 5 is not running.
Yeah.
Right. And then on third down, I'm spying 16, and I'm playing man coverage because no one has shown me that they can win versus man consistently.
Yeah.
That's what I would do. So I think guys have to step up, like, just all across the board. And then Sark got to help him out early. Like, slants, hitches, go 5 wide, get the ball out quick.
Yeah.
Stay in the same personnel, change the formation, go tempo, hand it off. Like, to me, we have to make this game more simplistic for him. Not in terms of, like, because he can't process, but help him out to help his O-line out. Because now if the O-line, if the ball's coming out quick, pass rush not getting there, guys, everyone's able to get settled into the game. So, again, I think everyone on offense just has to elevate themselves in order for him to be the best version of himself. Coaches are included too.
Yeah, I think the issue that we're seeing with, I say issue, it's something that's totally fixable. The thing with Arch, he has everything in the tool shed, right? He can process fast. He can make every throw. He's a good athlete. He's big, strong. He's taking a beating back there, but he's getting up every single play. He's very durable. I almost liken this to very early Justin Fields in a way, and even now Justin Fields is struggling with some of these same things, but he never really fully developed him. Where Fields holds on to the football for a long time,
way too long,
and he doesn't have the processing speed to get through one read to the other read. And sometimes even now, where he'll have a read open, but he's just doubting things. He's not seeing things clearly enough because, he's just not ever had it. He's just never been a good processor, and he's taken enough sacks, seen enough coverages and things of that nature. I think the thing for Steve Sarkisian that he's going to have to fix, and it's a really tough spot he's in right now because he has this super young offensive line with a quarterback that is going to hold on to the ball a little bit longer because he's still figuring things out. I almost sort of wonder if, man, and I'm sure he's doing enough of this, but can you keep 6 guys in protection? Can you keep 7 guys in protection? Just to give Arch that extra little bit of time to go through his progressions. And what makes a guy like Lamar Jackson is somebody who has some of the longest, holding on to the ball time. I think people often think that holding on to the football is a bad thing. It can be if you're Justin Fields, but if you're a Lamar or let's say Josh Allen, for example, that can make plays out of structure, like we've seen Arch being able to do, I think that you almost create your offense around that ability, right? He has that X factor of being able to make plays out of structure. It's being
Fair.
able to get out of sacks, get out of pressure, run around, make tight window throws on the outside. That's his X factor.
Fair.
I almost think we almost lean into that a little bit and say, hey, we may not get open immediately, but we're going to have extra people blocking for you. So that way you have that extra second or two for you to run around and then make that play. And in addition to that, we'll also give you the quick stuff so that way you can get into a rhythm. I think stuff like that is, kind of just
That's
look, he's
fair.
got X factors, he's got things that make him special. Lean into that a little bit more, right? Lean into his running ability, lean into his athleticism. He's not like, it's so funny. Like Quinn Ewers is almost the exact opposite, where Quinn tried to get the ball out as fast as he could because he couldn't process the pocket at all. That just was not his strength, right? So for Sark, it's almost like the Mike McDaniel thing with Tua, where it's like, I'm going to scheme you up wide open reads, and you just got to hit him. And Quinn did a very good job of that. So I almost think with Arch, it's you almost have to throw away the Quinn Ewers playbook and say, we got to make an Arch Manning playbook. And I don't know right now if he's done that fully.
Well, that's why, to your point, because that's actually a very good point in terms of 6 and 7 man protections. So, but with that, that's why to me, we have to run the ball effectively.
Yeah.
No matter what formations we get in, pistol, underneath, shotgun, if we can't line up and run the ball and get 4 to 5 yards of pop to where the defense has to honor every run fake, then those 6 and 7 man protections, because 6 man protections mean 4 are out with a possible check. Perfect, right? Mm-hmm. Then 7 man protection, 3 man route concept. So usually guys are pushing the ball downfield. So that's the time to dial up, crossers with Mosley or Wingo or injuries on a deep over. So, but all of that to me is predicated on, can we protect first, or can we run the ball to set up those looks? Because what the run does is get linebackers and safeties to bite up, and then it creates an even bigger throwing window for Arch to say, oh, even if he misses, he has room to miss now. You know what I mean? Like, so to your point, which is an excellent point, 6 and 7 man protections would help the O-line a lot. But with that comes like an effective run game. If we can effectively get 4.5 yards of carry and hopefully CJ Baxter comes back in some capacity. Then I think
pass protector.
Right. Then I think those 6 and 7 man protections can set up a multitude of things, because not just the deep stuff, it would set up screens. Yeah. Because so many guards are staying in, now it's like, okay, now he didn't leaked out. Now it's the back, now it's the tight end. But it sets up it gives you options. So that's actually a really good point that I never thought of, because I thought we had 5 that could pass protect. But when you look at it, I'm like, well, we don't. Now it's like, all right, now it's we have to play rookie ball with Arch. Yeah. What do you do with rookie quarterbacks? You run the ball, play action pass, and every now and again they'll do some special. That's why you took them so high. That's how we have to play. And really it's first and second down. If we can be effective on first and second and get 4 yards of pop on each of those and keep third and manageable. Oh my God, because now they can't just pin their ears back for pass. Yeah. They can't just, you know what I mean? Like they have to be ready for a little bit of everything, because the playbook's so wide open still. And it leaves you room to say, okay, you know what? We're in the fringe area in between the 40s at the 50. We can take a shot here because we're going for it. Because defense is playing well. Like it gives you those opportunities to maybe dial something up deep. And if you don't hit it, it's still 4th and 2, 4th and 3. You're like, you know what? We can get it, because this is what I would have called had we been in a different situation. So to me, but all of that to me is predicated on, can we move people and run the ball? Yep. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think you can marriage that with tempo as well, right? Because if you have that tempo, you might be able to run the football a little better. Yep. And again, once you get that run game going, you might be able to get some play action thing, which I don't really know if Arch is really that good at play action right now. I just don't think that's his strength. He's got to develop that as a player. I mean, we've talked about in the past where you don't want this dude turning his back to that defense yet, because he just doesn't process the field fast enough, and
he doesn't know how to hide the ball either.
No, that's a big thing he has to develop. The little nuances, he'll get there eventually.
And I mean, he has an uncle who was like excellent at like showing it, and then whether
Faking
it was run or like everything looked the same. He would mirror his running pass, so it all looked the same. Like in terms of play action, like Arch has to get there. Even in the gun, you can hold that read a little longer to make him feel run, get those guys to come up, and then get in your drop. But that again, that's all the nuances of playing quarterback that he will get better at.
Yeah, and I think with with Arch, a lot of the throws he has missed are throws that are in the structure of the offense,
Yep.
right? If that makes sense, where
Yep.
they're schemed open, like the slant to Emmett, right, way over his head. That
Yep.
I think it was Jack Andrews' miss against Kentucky.
Wide
That was a
open.
schemed open miss.
Yep.
A lot of Arch's best throws are the throws where
Off platform.
he's not looking at his first read, or he goes from his first read to his second read, or he looks one read, two read, not open. I'm a bail, roll out. Here's a dime on the in the goal in the Oklahoma game, right? So I think you lean into that a little bit more and say, okay, if he's going to be better making plays out of structure, let's find more ways to be better around him out of structure.
Yeah.
And that includes more people in the box or more people protecting, holding on a little bit better. But a lot of this stuff with Arch Manning, I do think is fixable. That's the thing for me that makes me the most excited about Arch in terms of his future is this is going to be the worst version of Arch. This is also going to be the worst offensive line that he'll be behind. He's going to get more of chemistry and connection with Wingo. We'll probably get a bit faster in the offseason because I'm sure we're going to target some speed in the transfer portal. And so I look at what this team offensively can look like next year. I think it's pretty exciting, assuming Arch continues to ascend and takes that next step like we saw Quinn Ewers do from year 1 to year 2.
Yeah.
But I mean, Arch Manning. Can Arch Manning be fixed? You guys let us know in the comment section below. All right, let's now transition. Top 5 transfer needs. And these are positions. We're each going to give our own top 5s. We might have some overlap. I have not written mine down. Neither have you, so we're kind of doing this off the cuff here.
Let's go.
On the top of your head right now.
Are we going 5 to 1? Least important to most important?
Well, let's do 1 to 5. Make it a little easier.
1 to 5? Okay.
Yes. So the biggest need for B. Ross in the transfer portal, what would that be for you?
Interior line, guard or center. I'm starting there because guards and centers protect the depth of the pocket, tackles protect the width.
Yes.
And there are no good quarterbacks when the depth of the pocket is constantly compromised. And I want a good quarterback, and I think we have one. So
yes,
interior line.
I agree with you. My top number 1 was a guard, specifically right guard, because DJ Campbell's going to be gone. Yep. And the interesting thing about Texas offensive line next year is you're probably going to have Gooseby back next year, so he'll be your left tackle. You're going to have Nick Brooks back, who'll probably be your left guard. You're probably going to have Brandon Baker, unless he transfers. He'll be back. He'll be your right tackle. Campbell's gone. Hudson's going to be gone. I don't want Connor Robertson starting, so I think guard, center in the portal, which, by the way, we did look at. We went for the Oregon guy. I'm blanking on his name, but we went after him and just had no luck with that one, which he's a good football player. Would have loved to have that guy on our team. Definitely would have helped because he definitely has the experience. So that was also my number 1. I'll give my number 2. Mine is speed, a speedy back. He doesn't have to be a star, but, man, if we can find I can't remember that. I'm terrible with names, but all the speedy guys we've had the past few years, if we can find, like for the Dallas Cowboys, they have Kavontae Turpin. We can find that sort of dude on our team, undersized.
You want a good gadget guy.
Essentially, yes. And I want somebody that maybe has a bit more to him, like a Zachariah Branch, if you can find that sort of guy. Somebody who gives more speed to your offense, because when you look at this Texas offense, I don't want to say they're slow, but they don't have a super explosive athlete that can take the top over the defense. Wingo is a great athlete, but he's more east to west than north and south, right? Yeah, I think Livingstone's a fine athlete, but he's not going to run a 4.3. At least I don't think he will. DeAndre Moore's fine. He's a good enough athlete. Ryan Niblett's your most athletic player, and we've seen him be kind of put into this offense a little bit more, and it's given you a little bit more life on that offense occasionally. I think having somebody like that who can be, a 5'10", 5'11" receiver, that's $160, that can absolutely run down the field, open up things for your offense down the field a little bit more. And the thing is, a lot of the time those players aren't even a target. They're just more of a decoy.
True. So would you want that on the perimeter as a receiver, or would you rather have more speed? Because putting small guys in the backfield is always dangerous. Now you can get them the ball where they can catch and go on jet sweeps and things like that, but you want them in the backfield like primarily running back, or you want a guy who can just line up
north and south
and just go.
I need a north and south guy that can run a 40-yard dash, a 4.3. That's what we need. We don't need an east and west shifty guy because we got a number of shifty dudes. We need a north-south runner that can absolutely fly down the field. And I'm thinking more receiver right now. And I'm maybe running back. I think we have good running backs. We don't really have a fast running back. I mean, they got dudes who are fast, but not like Trey Wise is going to run a 4.4 probably, right? CJ Baxter probably a 4.5, somewhere around those ranges.
Right. But
James Simon, we'll see.
Nothing like a RJ Harvey type who can just get it and go.
Exactly. We're missing a Jaden Blue in this offense. We don't have a dude in this room right now that has breakaway speed, not named Ryan Wingo. And I think that's a huge thing we're missing right now, and Ryan Niblett too. Yeah. So getting a speedy guy, a speedy north and south runner would be my number 2. What would be your number 2?
Corners.
Oh, yeah.
We're going to need corners.
Yeah, we are.
Like, if you can't cover, I don't care how good the pass rush is. If you can't cover people, you're going to struggle. And, like, I think about next year, like, Gilbo's gone, Muhammad's gone, and now you're stuck with a bunch of young guys who may or may not be it. Grayson Littleton, things are going to be fine, right? But when you talk about depth and quality depth, we have to hit the portal.
Right now, your starters would be great. I mean, forward-thinking Grayson, Cade Phillips, Kobe Black, or Warren Roberson. I mean, woo. I'm excited about the future of those guys, but I don't know. I don't know if it's right now. That's scary to me.
You know what I mean? So that would be my number 2. It would be number 1 if the O-line wasn't so crucially important to the quarterback's success. But yeah, no, we're going to need corners, and like we're going to need. Me personally, I like different body types in my corners. I want.
So are you looking for length?
6'2", 6'3".
Yeah, okay.
I always, because even guys who are wrong, if they have length, they make plays on the ball. But it's more so because it gives you versatility within your defense and like how you match up, line up on guys. So if they have a big tight end, we have a big corner. They have a big receiver, we have that. They have a shifty small dude, we have a couple of those. Like to me, like you need that versatility within your secondary to be able to match up with, because we're going to see that kid from Florida again, and I don't want to go out there with 6'1" and soft. I need 6'2", 210 and mean, because guess what? He doesn't have to be just as fast. If he's physical at the line of scrimmage, a lot of those routes that happen versus us won't happen. So corners, we need corners. We need quality depth at corner.
I agree. We need a veteran in that room.
Absolutely.
Because we have the talent. We have dudes that are still developing, but they're young and inexperienced. So yeah, I agree. A big time, ideally lengthy corner on the outside. I think that makes a ton of sense. I'm gonna go
number 3.
Yeah, for my number 3, I'm gonna go with a linebacker. Anthony Hill's gonna be out the door. I think you need a difference-making linebacker. I like Young Lafau. I like Anthony Smith. I think they're very talented. You're gonna get the 5-star freshman who I'm blanking on his name, but you're gonna get him as well. He's a little undersized. I think he probably needs a year of development to put on some muscle and weight so he can be ready for SEC play. So I think that's a year away. But I need a difference-making linebacker, right? Because Trey Moore's going to be out the door. He's going to go to the NFL. Yep. I'm assuming Anthony Hill is going to the NFL because he's going to be probably a round 2 pick, and he's a superstar. Yeah, he should. So with Anthony Hill out the door, who has been so important for our defense, I think we need a guy to pair opposite of Leonga and pair opposite of a Anthony Smith. Not going to be easy to find, but if you can find that guy, that difference making tackle, somebody that can get you 50 tackles through 7 games.
So truthfully, like again, it would be nice to have a difference maker. But to your point, we need, like, honestly, I just want efficient guys who get the ball down, don't make simple mistakes. Like, they are good enough in coverage where they can fill things behind them. Like, they don't need to be Anthony Hill. Like, that's
100%.
why we recruit 5-star freshmen and they develop into that guy. You know, so I would love to see again like quality depth, like quality, like how they have played in the past. You know, usually tells you a lot. So yeah, I would want to see again, and like I would try to get one young guy, one older guy, maybe.
Yeah,
because
a senior and like a sophomore.
Yeah, and again, I would get different body types. I would get somebody who's strictly probably a Mike or strictly a Will, and then I would get somebody who has some versatility as a pass rusher, maybe because you're losing all of that with Anthony Hill. So with that being said, I would go get 2 for the price of 1 to fill his role essentially. So yeah, I'm totally with you. That was my third, a linebacker. Yeah, gotcha. Absolutely. I was right there with you.
What's your fourth?
Playmaking receiver. So I guess speed. Would you say like we got to get somebody who can just scare the mess out of people every time they're on the field. Like I don't think people understand. Yeah, like I don't think people understand. So as a defender, I hated fast guys because you always have to know where they are. Because like it's a Lambo getting 0 to 60. It doesn't take them much time. I don't care what defense you call. They can run past both of us. That's how fast they are. That's what speed does to a defense. It creates an unnatural fear in football that should not be there. You're like, where's number 80? Yep. Motion in that. Like it creates so much fear and uncertainty because you don't know. And then as a defense, you don't know how fast the guy really is until he runs up on you. Then you're like, okay, he's 10 times faster than I already thought. Yeah. And to your point earlier, sometimes he's just a decoy. He's just there to clear out 2 guys, and we're running a dig behind him. That he's just a decoy. Or, you chuck it up to him because he's going to outrun everybody. Like, that's the beauty of having speed on your offense. So I think that's pivotal to get for Arch in this offense because when you're talking about running the ball, play action, and opening up this offense vertically, it's more than doable, but you got to have guys who can just take the top off the defense with no mercy.
I agree. All right, for my next one, I'm going to go, I talked receiver earlier. I'm now going to go with a running back, and I'm going to look for a speedy running back. I need a guy that, he's not going to be somebody that gets a lot of reps because you're going to probably have Wisner back next year. You're probably going to have Baxter back, and you have James Simon, who you're still getting along there. So those are going to be your 3 guys next year. I need a difference-making change of pace back. I don't need a power back sort of guy like a CJ. I don't need a shifty, patient guy like a Trey. I need a guy that can hit the hole, and if he gets a good running lane, is going to take that thing 50 yards because nobody can catch him, right? And he might not play more than 5 carries a game. That's all I need from him. Give me 5 fast carries to give me a different look. He could also be used in the pass game. You pair that up with all the other weapons you have on the outside. If you also get a speedy receiver too, you put both those guys on the field. Now you got 2 absolute, track athletes that you have to identify as a defense. And they look at that guy, they look at the other guy, and next thing you know, Ryan Wingo going 50 yards because that dude's also a good athlete. So I think speed is something we are missing badly on this offense. It's just something we don't really have in this offense this year. And it was something I was worried about coming into the year. And it's weird because last year that was the whole thing. Silas Bolden, Matthew Golden, Isaiah Bond.
Sure.
We had Jonte Cook as well, who pretty fast in his own way. So you had all this speed. And then this year it's like it's height, it's shiftiness, it's more route running nuance, I suppose, more so than speed. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. And I think Texas tried to overthink it. And I think you need more speed on this offense.
You know who? I mean, I don't know if he's going to transfer, but he's a good player. UNLV running back Jaden Thomas fits that mold.
Where's he from?
UNLV.
Hey, if Texas calls, he probably out the door.
They use him as like a workhorse, but like he's a guy. He just needs to touch the ball, and he can. Yeah. They call him the Jet. Like you don't get that nickname, and you're not fast.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I don't totally disagree. The last thing I would go get in the portal is probably a safety.
Yeah.
I
We have
would,
talent, a lot of talent.
yeah, but
But
they're young.
yeah, especially if Jelani goes pro.
Pro, yeah. And
Yeah.
that's kind of where I'm like if 50-50 because
Yeah.
he's getting back decent draft grades right now. And
Yeah.
I totally agree. So if he goes pro, like your room gets significantly younger. Not
Yeah.
that they're not talented, but you talk about experience, you're talking about playing time and just time on task. Give me a veteran safety back there. Like let's
Yeah.
go add some quality depth. Again, let's go add some veterans to help these young guys grow in their true sophomore year or redshirt freshman year. Like guys, like that's the benefit. Not just their playing, but it helps your young guys in terms of how to prepare, how to study film, how to be how to be a pro within college football. Veterans in the transfer portal allow that. So I would probably go get a safety because the defense can always if we have a good defense, we always have a chance.
I agree. I 100% agree. My last one, I'll say an edge rusher, but specifically a rotational edge rusher because you have Colin Simmons. I personally think Lance Jackson starts for you next year because he's basically already your number 2 in your rotation. Trey Moore's going to be off the team because he's a senior. You do have Brad Spence, who will be back. So that's 3 guys. And Zena, that's 4, right? If you want to keep that big rotation.
Yep.
And Vosick, I wouldn't be surprised if he transfers just because he hasn't gotten the playing time that I think he deserves to get. So if Vosick's back, then that's 5, but I still think you need that other. Again, it's a senior guy who I know what I'm getting from. And Texas tried to go after a few guys this year. They tried to get David Bailey for a little bit. And man, David Bailey's having a whale of a year. If you can find somebody like that to pair up with Colin Simmons, I definitely think that makes things a little bit more interesting to continue to have that depth there because you're going to lose some pieces, not necessarily superstars, but Ethan Burke gone, Trey Moore gone. Even in the interior, there's a couple guys like a Cole Brevard, Travis Shaw.
That's what I was thinking about too. Yeah.
Yeah. So that'd be my last one.
I would probably go D tackle.
Yeah.
I would go interior with you. Like to your point, like we're losing 3 to 5 bodies. You know what I mean? So we would need to replace those transfers that are leaving. Granted, Murat Watson is coming back, but we will lose Canoe and Shaw, and like those guys are playing some really good football.
Yeah, I think Canoe has one more year actually.
Does he? Probably do.
Yeah, but Shaw
because you get 5 years now. Yeah, but you know what I mean. So I would love to have another big body guy or 2, and to keep that rotation going the way it has been over the last 4 or 5 years.
100%. All right, y'all. Let us know in the comment section below what's the biggest transfer need for Texas heading into 2026. All right, to end the show off today, I got 5 true or false questions
I'm
going to present to B-Ross.
I don't like
B-Ross, you tell me true, tell me false, and give me an explanation. All right. Starting off with our first one. Steve Sarkisian should hire an offensive coordinator. True or false?
No, true. And I get it because he said in the press conference, they hired me because I'm a player. I get all of that. But plans change. Stuff happens. And like I do still believe he's a good play caller or play designer. But let someone else call the play. Let someone listen, you know how many coaches are getting fired? Just like
it's a lot. It's a lot right now.
It's plenty of talent out there who can just be an OC. Like it's plenty of talent out there. So like let's go get one of those guys. Why? Because you don't have to manage them. They've done it. Like that's why they got hired. It just so happened that they weren't as good as a head coach, so they got fired. So let's not I'd rather that not happen to Sark because he gets in this rut of play calling, game management, because like just because you're able to do it doesn't mean you should do it.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna go with true. He should give up play calling duties to a veteran play caller.
All right, my next one, number 2. Steve Sarkisian should be fired if Texas loses 4+ games this year.
False. No. Like this team is extremely young, and I get the preseason hype, which I never understood that. Like this isn't, you can't grade a team based off what they did last year with with like a new roster. Yeah. Like that's not how it should work, but it does. It makes zero sense to me. No, he shouldn't be fired.
And the recruiting too. I mean, oof.
Yeah, like you're talking about one of the best recruiting teams in the country. So if he loses 4 games, I mean, he has a redshirt sophomore quarterback, a very young old line. The only thing that's, saving us right now is the defense, but that's a veteran field defense. So who's to say that next year the offense is explosive and the defense take a step back and we're in the same position? Like, you don't know. So I don't think, no, don't fire him.
All right. Next one. Arch Manning will transfer if the season continues the way it's been going. So no. if Arch struggles, do you think he'll transfer?
False. No. He's not built like that.
Interesting.
He's not going my way, I'm leaving guy. He will get it right at Texas.
So if Oregon, let's say Dante Moore goes pro, if Oregon says, hey, Arch, we turned Bo Nix, Dylan Gabriel, and Dante Moore into draft picks, we'll pay you $8 million to transfer to Oregon. You don't think he goes?
Nope.
I think there's a chance. And it's not because he wants to. I think it's just because there's a better destination potentially. Nah. I hope not. I really hope not. I don't think it's going to happen, but I think there is at least a 5% chance.
And I'm telling you, like, the only reason I say that is because, like, he's like the kid's super competitive. Yeah, like it would eat at him to like leave things undone here.
Yeah.
Like, I think he really wants to win here. I think he really wants to like get Texas back to where they should be. Like, I think that's important to him from what I've heard and like what I know of him. It's very important to him of getting this place. Like, that's why he chose it. Like, this isn't a stop by in the heat of the night type of thing, and then it's not going my way. You know what? I'm leaving. He's not. No.
All right.
They would have to offer him a lot of money too. A whole lot of money.
Well, they have it in Oregon.
That they do.
All right, next one. Texas will make the playoffs this year.
Oh, that's a tough one. I gotta see the schedule. Let me just.
We got Mississippi State, Vanderbilt, Georgia, Arkansas, A&M. I believe that's how it is.
We already have 2 losses.
I already have my answer.
I'll say false.
Yeah.
Because everyone talks about Georgia. I don't know if we beat Vanderbilt. I said it at the beginning of the year. Vanderbilt's a good football team. Yep. I know what I know, and that's a really good football team. The only saving grace is we play at home. And
we're good against the run.
Yes.
Usually. And
then Georgia, I was more worried at the beginning of the year. I'm less worried now because that defense is not good. Now, if our offense is still on the up and down rut, then no. If we find any consistency over the next 2 games, any sort of identity, then my answer is true. Like, I think we make it because I think we beat Arkansas, and I think Texas A&M at home is a big time advantage. Going there, I would say no, but we get, to me, Texas A&M and Vanderbilt are tougher games just in terms of they have really good offense. I mean, they have scrappy defenses and they can score points because they run the ball at an effective level. Georgia can't run the ball. The defense isn't playing well. Like, nothing till, like, I'm not worried. Like, that game doesn't worry me the same way. But right now, I'm going to say false until the offense shows me anything else.
Yeah, I say false. I just don't see – this offense is way too inconsistent right now. If they can find that consistency, then, we can talk about this one again. But until I see it for back-to-back games, I got to say false. All right, last one. The game against Kentucky, the Texas performance was a fluke. True or false? Texas away game at night. I believe homecoming for Kentucky.
I don't know. I don't know if fluke is the right word per se. Is it who they are? No. Is it who they can be? Yes. So I go with false, just in terms of like a lot of it's just like we just miss easy stuff. Like we miss easy blocks, we miss easy throws. We had some drops, we had some like it was just so I don't think that's who we are. I think second half Ohio State, Oklahoma game, that's who we are. We just don't know it yet.
Yeah, we just gotta find the consistency.
We gotta find some identity, some consistency. I don't like these true fall questions. FYI, put me on the spot. It's tough.
Gotta put them on the spot. Get the brain flowing. All right, y'all.
Dang.
Let us know in the comments below, true or false on all these. All right. Anything else you want to bring to the table before we hop on out?
What do you think the score is going to be from when the game on Saturday?
State.
Yeah, it's a 3:15 kickoff.
I'm gonna give you two answers. All right.
Uh-oh.
If Texas shows up like they did versus Oklahoma, I think Texas wins 26-13. All right.
Ooh, okay.
If Texas shows up like they did versus Kentucky, I think it's 27-14 Mississippi State. I think there's a good chance that we win or lose. This is just one of those, like, if you tell me Texas shows up, I think Texas wins. If Texas doesn't show up offensively, I don't see how they win. I mean, this defense can only do so much, but if they have a game like they did versus Florida or Kentucky,
we're not winning.
I mean, I can have as much faith and, confidence that I do in this team, but at some point reality has to set in that this team hasn't been consistent yet. And now I will say they've been up and down, and we were down last week, so we might be, back up. If I'm going to lean one answer, I think Texas wins because I think Steve Sarkisian is going to be in his bag today. So I think Texas wins. That's going to be my prediction. What about you?
I think this is the third time we go over 30 points this week.
Ooh, this season, you mean?
Yes. Yeah. Thank you.
Yes. So we got what? Sam Houston and San Jose
State. I think because the more I think about it, this defense gives up a lot of yards, a lot of yards and a lot of points. So if there are going to be opportunities, and they're hearing all of this in the media.
Oh yeah,
every day up until this game, like they are hearing all of this, and I think 16 is going to come out a little pissed off, a little angry, a little less smiling. He's going to come, yeah. Like to your point, I think Art's going to be in his bag. Like it would not surprise me at some point in the game he breaks off a long run, throws some magnificent pass, touch something, and he gets a 15-yard penalty. It would not surprise me. That's how I think this team is just coming to this game because they play as he goes, confidence wise.
Yeah.
He plays with high confidence.
It's like the Jackson Dart effect in New York.
Yeah, because
energy.
When Jackson Dart is on, he's swagged out. Jerk plays well. He has any sort of doubt, hesitation, they fall to pieces.
Yeah.
So I really do think this team is similar in that way. So I'm gonna say 31-17.
31-17.
I would love that. Texas right now. Now, that being said, to your point, offense comes out. We see 5 straight 3-and-outs, 5 points.
Yeah, it's done.
I think we lose by double digits. Like I don't think it.
I agree.
Close. I think
we either win or lose by double digits.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm with you. I don't see us winning a 24-20 game.
No.
I don't see that.
No.
It's going to be interesting. Anything else you want to bring to the table before we
No, sir. I'm all good, man.
All right, y'all. Well, with that said, you guys can make sure you guys follow B Ross at 1b.ross. IG, TikTok, you do some live streams over there, so you guys want to stay tuned for that one. Good stuff over there. And for me, you guys can follow me at Metro Sports on Instagram, Twitter, YouTube. I do NFL stuff, so if you like, talking NFL, you like talking ball, make sure you guys check all that stuff out. All that said, we'll be back next Tuesday and Saturday for the reaction show and for the next Primetime. And Monday will be the Texas Longhorn Live. So you guys stay tuned for that. You guys can see Matthew and Gerald over there. All that said, you guys have a good one. Per usual, welcome y'all.